Hello everyone, welcome back to another What I've Been Playing, and I'd love to hear what you've been playing down below, especially if you have been enjoying Astro Bot. I just played through it this weekend, played through about 80% or so completion and finished the whole thing, and this week and for a while I'm going to go back and try and finish those little, couple missing bots and a couple challenge levels I haven't beaten. It's a fun game that has so much content. It just blew me away of opening these new levels, and it's going to be one I'm going to be playing for a little while, and then a game I will come back to many times over the years because it was a blast. It was so much fun. I had high expectations going in with the incredible reception that it was getting, and then also how much I really enjoyed Astro's Playroom. I thought I was going to love this, but not as much as I did. This is genuinely one of the best platformers I've ever played. I'm not just talking about modern platformers, looking at whatever would be a contemporary for this game, but just in general, since the days playing Super Mario Bros. On the NES, this is among my favorites. It's that good. It has all the charm of Astro's Playroom and the creativity, and takes it to a whole new level, expands upon it. The level designs and the use of the abilities and how that influences the design of the levels was incredibly creative. It reminded me of some of the very best of Mario with how those were implemented, but I actually found myself enjoying some of them a little more than even the best Mario games I've ever played. Like in general, it just had this feeling. I brought out these two games as well, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, is sort of like the background for a reason, because these three games, one thing they had in common for me this year, and this was felt I think almost strongest with Astro Bot, is it felt like playing games in the 90s again. Not saying that the games felt old-fashioned in any way. They had this weird mix where they felt incredibly modern, like the best of the best of what modern gaming can give us, but still had that spirit of fun that I think is missing from a lot of games that I've played in recent years. No matter, even if they are fantastic and really great to play, there's a sense of joyfulness, a sense of just a video game feel that's hard to define that I feel like these really capture, and Astro Bot does that in spades. It's one of those games that is fun as something that's a very joyful legacy piece, something that looks back on the history of PlayStation and really, the core of why video games are a very different experience than watching a movie or reading a book. What makes a video game experience unique? It grabs that and uses it to its advantage. And at the same time, while those elements are very important and very well done and fantastic, you don't have to, you could be completely unfamiliar with the legacy of all these PlayStation characters, and it would still be a brilliant platformer. It's just something that adds to the experience more than being an essential part of it. So anyone can go ahead and check this out, and I think you'll love it. And that being said, some of my favorite things were all the bot characters and how they were more than just a collectible. It wasn't just you grab these bots that are dressed up as iconic characters and just kind of, put them somewhere in a menu. They were a part of not just the story, but the gameplay, especially when you had some levels that were based on an IP. I really liked the one based on Ape Escape. The God of War one was probably my favorite. Horizon Zero Dawn. A bunch of different ones that, again, added the variety. I think this is, for me, the most enjoyable variety of gameplay mechanics and environments and styles to the levels that I've played in a platformer in recent memory. It's just fantastic. It's a great, fun game. It's really one that is addictively fun, and it puts you in a good mood. It's something where even you put it in some of the more challenging stages, it's still a lot of fun, and it reaches that balance. I think one of the hardest things for a puzzle game or a platformer to do is to find that balance of being fun, joyful, all audiences, kind of casual feeling to get through some basic segments, but then also having that challenge ramp up as it goes along and have more difficult challenges being available but not necessarily required to get through the bulk of the game. There is, it's it has that kind of perfect balance for me where there are some difficult segments, but overall, it's just kind of fun to play through. And if you want the extra challenge, there are a ton of extra, like smaller levels and challenges that you can do that are incredibly difficult. And if you want to get all 300 of the bots and do all that stuff, that they're there, but you don't necessarily have to. And even if you aren't very good at the game and you can't really tackle a lot of those, there's still a ton of content that you're going to enjoy. It's a huge game, and I absolutely loved every second of it. I genuinely cannot come up with a complaint about it. I was thinking about, is this one of those rare cases where a game is pretty much a 10 out of 10? And I think it is for me, just because I can't think of anything I disliked, and I can't think of a single performance issue. And playing it for hours and hours, I spent just about the entirety of the weekend playing this game. Just nothing was wrong with the entire experience, and there's nothing that I feel like was omitted. There's nothing that I feel like they did more of or did better. I can't come up with anything that I disliked in Astro Bot. It is genuinely a fantastic experience. I loved it. Go ahead and check it out. And it actually inspired me to I be in the mood for this genre that's normally not one of my favorite genres to play. And I want to do a video just talking very briefly, go through my favorite platformers of all time, because I'd love to hear what yours are, and because while playing this game, it made me think about what are my favorites in the genre over the years, and where would this end up?